kabila ndio kwao. Hapo shafika ukweli na hakika, kadiri na shika furaha kwa lahiki. Kwa mashabiki maji kuziki, hip na fiki, hit na dhiki, muda muna wiki, mimi na hiziki, split ni mukiki, kutafuta ziki, kwa makini mfulisi, ya mchima la sili, feel me.
Don't you know we're talking about a revolution song?
And I want to talk about these negative comments, these complaints or whatever. And I want to make something perfectly clear. First of all, when I make a video, most of my videos, I try to be as simple as I can. I'm not going to try to use big words. I'm not going to try to speak like I'm Mr. Intelligent and all like that. I just want to present a message that anybody, even a child, can understand. I want it to be simple and to the point. That's why I do upset people, because they do understand exactly what I'm saying, and it makes them upset for those who don't like truth anyway. There are people who just don't like truth. They cannot accept reality. I cannot control that. So that's a personal problem. Now, I never said in the video, nowhere in the video, in the commentary, do I pit light-skinned black folks against dark-skinned folks. I don't know where they're getting this stuff from. But you know, a lot of times when people don't like certain things, or they hear certain things, they make up their own commentary. I don't know where they're getting it. Somebody told me you should like light-skinned women just as much as you like. Where are you getting this from? Check out the video. It has nothing to do with light versus dark at all. And I never said that dark-skinned people were better than light-skinned people or anything. In fact, the bottom line, this ministry does not represent race. So you never hear me talk about, well, the black man this and the black man is superior and the melanin. You don't hear me talk like that. The only thing you hear me say is the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. That's it. I do not call us black. I'm not going to play the race card. In fact, in the video, I talk about the race card before I begin to speak or comment on the main subject that I wanted to present to us. It makes me, it's very pitiful when people start just making up outright lies. Then you ask them, show me where I made this statement. Here's the video. Show me where I said I don't like light-skinned women or light-skinned black people or any of these things of this nature. They cannot show it. And then I also even wrote, I am not the all-knowing. You hear me say this all the time. I am not the all-knowing. So whatever I present, the only thing you have to do is show me, bring me a valid argument, a credible argument. I have no problem with saying, you know, somebody told me this and that, and I'm going to have to retract what I just presented. I made an error. I apologize, and let us go on to better things. They don't make an attempt to do nothing. What they begin to do is, oh wow. Now look at this. Like I say, this ministry does not represent or advocate race in any form. All the time you hear me talk about race is when I'm trying to describe a certain people or a person just enough so that you can know who I'm talking about. No more, no less. I don't get caught up in the race mess. So I presented the question, and this is not my teaching. I do not believe this, and I don't teach it, none of that. But the question that was presented is, if the black man is God, if the black man is the original man, then how can light-skinned people be God or original when they're not black? That's the only question that I ask. Then people was telling me about how black people come in various hues. Original. The black man is the original man. When you are original, you don't have no various hues. There's only one. And that's simply dark skin. So if the original man is the black man and the black man is God, how can lighter skinned people make the same claim? Because you are not of the original. Clearly. Because the original is the black man. All these other various hues and shades that y'all talking about, this goes all the way, this is on down the line. Because they are saying that the original man is the black man. Everything else that comes after the black man comes from out of his recessive gene. Do you understand that? Well, if you don't, that's your problem. And if you don't bring it to me. You need to question those people who have taught this for years and years and generations. It's not my teaching. The only thing I'm asking is I'm questioning this thing here. Because if the original man is a black man, then how can lighter skinned people claim to be God and original? It's not adding up here. So somebody who is upset tells me or calls me. Now this is a person, clearly they must have love for everybody. I love light-skinned people and I love black-skinned people. I just love the black people. Somebody with this type of attitude. Now, if you love black folks or pretend that you love black people the way you do it, and this makes you upset, mind you, this is not my teaching. This is something that people believe and they teach day in and day out every day. It's not my teaching. The only thing I did was ask a question because something here does not make sense. So, a black man, a light-skinned black man, calls me a monkey. A light-skinned black man tells me to go back to Africa. A light-skinned black man calls me an African booty man. You know, things of this nature. Now, if you didn't know who this person was, or you didn't see what his face looked like, this person is a light-skinned, look like a light-skinned black man. But if you didn't know who this was, somebody calling a black man a monkey, somebody telling black people to go back to Africa, African booty scratches and all this other stuff, you would quickly assume it's a Caucasian racist. This is coming from a black man that just so happened to claim that he loved black people. He's a liar. Because your anger shows exactly who and what you are. I don't care how angry I've gotten or upset with anybody, another black person on this media, I would never call another black man, light skinned or dark, a monkey, go back to Africa, you're an African booty scratch and all this other crazy stuff. There was nothing never said in my words. There's nothing never said in all the hundreds of videos that I have where I talk about light-skinned people are inferior to dark-skinned. What it seems to me, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, I just observe, it seems like this person is jealous. Listen to me. This person is a light-skinned guy who is jealous because when you talk about the black man is God, and the black man is the original man. And when you have people that's actually dark-skinned, and we're talking about the black man is God and the black man is the original man, he wants to be what we are. And he's jealous of us because we can say that the black man is the original man and the black man is God. This is not my teaching. I'm going to keep saying that. This is not my teaching. The black man is God and the black man is the original man. But we actually are dark-skinned. We actually are black. You are not. And I believe that he's jealous because he feels as though we think that we're better than him. I've never said, or Sister Rashida Strover, I never heard in any of her videos, and you can if you've heard otherwise, please let me know, because I've never heard her say that because she has dark skin, she's better than light-skinned people. The only thing she focuses on is the fact of how dark-skinned people really are treated, not only, of course, in this racist society, but dark-skinned people have been treated in an ill manner, even among so-called black folks with your various hues. You brown, you red, or you're yellow, you're red bone, whatever you call yourself, but you're a variation of black. And I talk about that in my prior video. I talk about mutations, deformities, and hybrids. And they all can come from up out of the black, but they are not the original. The dog is a mutation of the wolf. The dog actually is a wolf, but the dog is a mutation. The original wolf don't look like your dogs. These dogs that you see, their ancestry goes back to wolves, but they have been changed. If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't even know, excuse me, you wouldn't even know they came from wolves. It's the same thing with almost all life forms. So my question to these who keep telling us the original man is the black man, God in the universe, you're trying to claim something that you're not. You're not the original man. So that means you're not God of the universe, because you're not black. You're a mutation. You are a hybrid. That's the reality of what we are. We were born from up out of the bowels of slavery in this nation. We are not original. Nowhere close. You might have some original people still left on the African continent. One thing for sure, you and I, even myself as dark as I am, we are not original. We have been changed. We have been mutated. We have become hybrids in this nation upon this soil. That's the bottom line. There is no darker person being more superior than the lighter skinned people, although those who teach that the black man is God and the original man, they also keep talking about this melanin, how great melanin is. So if melanin is great and you don't have as much melanin as I do, I guess you would assume that I must have some kind of advantage over you because I have more melanin. I don't see those things, because surely with or without this melanin, the black man is God, you're still a damn slave in America. So I don't see why people are getting upset. And you're so sick that you still, you are so pro-black that you still call black folks monkeys, tell other black people to go back to Africa and scratch their booty. This shows you just how sick we are. Here you are listening to a video and you still make up your own commentary, telling a lie that somebody clearly did not say or express. I just have something on my mind. I want to share it with you, and please feel free to jot down your comments, negative or positive. Just talk. Talking is good to a certain point. Talking gets stress off of you. Talking calms you down. Talking is very therapeutic, but it's only so long that you can talk. You have to take action upon whatever your problem is. Whatever condition, if it's negative, that you find yourself in, talk can only take you to a certain point. Then there comes an action, an appropriate action in which one must take in order to heal themselves or solve a problem or change a condition. I don't think these who are the descendants of slaves born in America, I don't think that you, matter of fact, I can almost say I know that we just don't get it, and we don't get it because Massa is taking care of you. So you don't have to love me. You don't have to give a damn about me. You don't need me because you can always go home and go to your job that you got with Massa. I don't care if you own your own business. It don't mean anything. Massa is directly and indirectly a part of your life because you still a damn nigger slave. Oh, wow. I thought I was going to be cool, calm, and collect, but I'm losing it. I'm losing it. You know something? When I was a younger person, like many of you know, I've told this story on many occasions. As soon as I came out of high school, I joined the Nation of Islam under the leadership of Minister Louis Farrakhan. I decided everything that I wanted personal in my life was not more important than the upliftment, the liberation, the awakening of the minds of these who are the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, called Negroes. I was excited, and when I was a younger person, I had all this fire. I was inspired by the words of Minister Farrakhan, and I was inspired by my brothers and sisters in the nation, and the only thing I thought about was bringing that message, doing that work. That's all I thought about, day in and day out. That's all I wanted to talk about. I would write my relatives long letters telling them about the struggle, and anybody that I met on the street, unlike many of y'all that sat behind a computer, I'm not used to that kind of action. I'm used to going out in the street, shaking hands, smiling, talking to our people, letting them know and showing them that I'm a human being just like them, and I care about them, and I care about us. I want them to know that although all these others that surround us hate our guts, there is somebody that loves them. There's somebody that loves us. I had almost endless energy. I love the work. Y'all talk about this struggle, but you're not in the work, and you definitely don't love it. Because if you love it and you're really into the work, you'll be doing it. You'll give your slave master, and you go to work 8 hours, 12 hours to your slave master, but you don't do nothing. And the reason why the people are not moving the way they should is thousands and thousands of so-called black conscious people, and you don't do nothing. You go home and turn on the TV and watch Jerry Springer. Some of y'all just watch the news all day, and you set up channels talking about what you saw on cable and TV all day long, but you do nothing to move the people. You was nothing like me because I was sincere. I'm sick of this condition. I'm tired of it. But time has gone on. And as time moves forward, you can no longer stay that energized young man who was inspired. But now, I'm an older person, a middle-aged person, filled with disappointment. There is nothing to inspire me. I don't think that the energy has left me, but there's nothing to draw inspiration from. All I see on social media is a bunch of black folks and a bunch of losers. Go to the social media here, there's a bunch of losers saying the same thing, doing the same thing over and over again. And when you do something like that, it's called insanity. Trying to continue to place a square peg in a round hole because that's what you believe in. What you believe in don't work. It's not working. try something different, but you refuse to do that. I don't have the energy to fight no more. I don't have the inspiration to fight no more, because I love knocking on brothers and sisters' doors. I used to love going to the gambling hall. I went to houses of prostitution. I was 18 years old and didn't know what a prostitute was. I'll say that again. I was 18 years old and I did not know what a prostitute was. I didn't know what a whore was. I wasn't surrounded by that type of environment. So I would go into the pool hall and the houses of prostitution, the strip clubs, wherever I could find black folks, I was there. And nothing has changed since I was a young man back in the early 80s. In fact, the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, you have become worse. You have become worse due to social media, because you can sit behind a computer and you don't have to do nothing except run your mouth. And this gives you the delusion and the feeling that you're doing something, and you're not. You're not changing no kind of condition. And the reason why you can do this again, because Massa is taking care of you. All thing you have to do is go to the store and get that poison apples and poison oranges, poison bananas, hormone chicken, steroid cow meat, and whatever else that you like. Massa taking care of your needs. And you really don't give a damn about a black man or a black woman, the people of soul. You don't care, really. Because Massa taking care of all of you. That's why you don't have you're not inspired to do nothing. A bunch of comfortable slaves. The only thing you are willing to do is complain. What makes me so fired up, brother? What got you so upset? I'm so upset because it seems as though we've arrived at the point of no return. And if we have arrived at the point of no return, I really need to stop making videos. Really. I need to just shut up and be done with it. Upload my old material and just really shut up. Do you know how it is when you're driving a car? When you're driving a car on ice and you go into a skid, you only have a certain amount of time to act in the correct manner. Otherwise, the skid would get to a point of no return, whereas no matter what you do, the car is not going to straighten up. You're just going to continue to spin out of control. And this is where the descendants of slaves born in America, this is where we find ourselves right now. We are at the point of no return. You believe that you have all the time in the world, and you really don't. You have to grab that steering wheel and turn it in the appropriate manner in order to come up out of the skid. If you don't, then you begin to get up out of control. You go into a skid that you can't control. And a lot of times when you're in an accident like that, there's a big possibility you will get injured, if not killed, in a car accident. So I was watching earlier today the web broadcast, listening to Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about various things, speaking at the 21st anniversary of the Million Man March. I listen to Louis Farrakhan. I listen to everybody. I wish they would listen to your little brother here. But that's on them. Arrogance, high and mighty, know-it-alls. And what is it getting you? So at the beginning of the minister's speech, he told the audience, I'm going to tell you some things you never heard before. And my heart jumped. Because that's what I want to be inspired. I want to hear something I never heard before. I want to be inspired. I want to be able to get energized again. I want to get into the struggle. And Minister Farrakhan after 2 hours or so, greatly disappointed me because he's saying the same thing, doing the same exact thing he done in 1981. The same thing. And that's all these other people on the street corners and everywhere. The same thing. The same black scholarship. The same black conscious scholarship. The same teachers doing the same thing. Saying the same thing over and over again. It is not inspirational because it has not changed your condition. You still depend on your massa. You still speak the language of your massa. Drink the water provided by your massa, the food by your massa, housing by your massa. Everything, you still a damn slave. So what is inspiring by that? I'm surrounded by people who are satisfied and comfortable being slaves. There is nothing inspiring about that at all. So I'm like the person who's watching on the side, watching a person go into a skid. And I'm watching them go out of control. And there's nothing that you can do that can help that person who is behind that wheel to help them get that car. And on top of that, these people, you don't want my help anyway. So I'm sitting on the side watching you go out of control. So there is going to be no beautiful future for you. The only thing that's going to awaken you up is something very, very terrible and drastic. And many of you are going to perish. Many of you are going to die. Many of you are going to suffer. Many of your babies being born not going to make it. Because you behind the wheel of a car. It's going into a skid and you refuse to turn the wheel in an appropriate manner. You see something this way don't work and you still want to do it because that's what I want. A skid is out of your control until you put it under your control. You don't know how to get this situation under your control because you really don't know how to drive the car. I don't want us to wreck. I don't want us to lose our lives. But you are on your way. You are at the point of no return. Time waits for no one. So I watch us doing the same things over and over. And pretty soon, if I am blessed, as they say in religion, I will watch us die and suffer more and more and more. You don't think millions of deaths can happen to you. You don't even believe your own talk. But it's right around the corner, coming sooner than you think. I want to be the defense attorney for the black man who many say participated in the murder of Emmett Till back in 1955. I have to be, and I volunteer myself to be their defense attorneys because there are allegations made by a few persons who actually believe what they're talking about. They are telling the world. And see, this is the thing about it. They are looking for examples of black people who attack other black folks, murder other black people, and they don't talk about the gang members, the drug dealers, the wife beaters. They decided to choose some black men who were present when Emmett Till was murdered, saying that these black men participated in the murder of Emmett Till. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you that that is a damn lie. Point blank. So I am their defense attorney. The prosecutor, the prosecuting Negroes have put down or laid down their case. Now it's my turn. At bat, let me and allow me to come before this jury and explain to you the reason why these men had nothing to do with the murder of that boy in 1955. Regardless to what these alleged persons who clearly they did not read the court records or anything and just decided to put that out there because they want to make this point. Okay, so let me make my point. Well, to begin with, now I grew up in the South. Not only did I grow up in the South, I grew up in the South during segregation. Segregation was still full in effect when I was a little boy in the South. And I didn't really know what was going on, but I saw my grandfather, who I view as a strong, tough guy. But when this pink guy, this pink little fella came around, he would hold his head down and talk all soft and yes sir and whatever. You see how they talk on the slave movies. Now, you may not believe this or not, but in 2016, there are still those right now that have that mentality. When they get around Caucasian people, they still do the same type of thing. They put their head down basically, and it's a way that you have to humble yourself to Caucasian people. Still happening today. What made me so angry that I wanted to make this video is one of the comments on the video called the young boy Emmett Till, called him a punk ass kid. You know, like he's some juvenile delinquent or whatever, some kind of nigger trash. Well, he's just a child. This is 1955. It was a whole different ball game back then. Not like the idiots that you have today. I can see why you might want to say that about some of these children. But in 1955, you didn't have a lot of that going on. It was very rare. But you're going to call him a punk-ass kid. And he was so messed up that his parents sent him to the South to chill out, to cool, that's what they say. Now, if that's the case, who sent this boy down south? And they know he had a problem. Matter of fact, he was sent down south so he could chill out. Maybe he would become better or whatever. Why? You sending him to a very dangerous place where racism is abundant. It's out there. Whose fault is that? Where is this boy's parents? Where are the adults in this situation? This is a child. This is a boy. Children are not responsible for their actions. Any court will tell you that. Parents are responsible for their children until you become 18 years old. This was a 15-year-old child who probably just turned 15 years old. He was a boy. Where are the adults in this situation? So then they sent him to the South, and clearly the adults there can't handle this boy or whatever. Why would you send your child to a place and the adults can't offer no kind of discipline to this child, this boy? When I was a young man, a child, all adults was like your parents. Even the town drunk, he was an adult, but he would see you do something wrong and the town drunk would put you in check. Adults, when I was growing up, all adults would take responsibility for children and put children in check, because that's what adults are supposed to do. In the South, blacks feared Caucasian people, just like you fear them right now. But there really was a general fear. Now, when this murder happened or occurred, these black men were employees of the Caucasian murderers. They were made to help get that boy, put him on the truck, and whatever. You said, well, they could have resisted. They could have also ended up being a victim. This was the South in 1955. You talk all this garbage, and the only thing you would have done is stood back and watched, or you would have participated too, because you didn't want to die. You didn't want to get hurt. But y'all talking all this garbage like you would have done something different. Fear. Why do you think people threaten your life? Why do you think they threaten your job? Why do they use fear? Because fear is the number one tool for eons. That's the number one tool folks have used to control other people. Because you are scared to die. You're scared to lose your job. You're scared to suffer. You're scared of personal injury and harm. That's the reason why. Then they said that there was an eyewitness. When they came back from the murder, one of the blacks was laughing, talking about trying to explain why there was blood on the car, the vehicle. He was telling a lie to cover for his massa, for his employer. It's simple as that. He wasn't laughing because he helped and participate in killing that boy. What is the reason? What is the motivation behind these black men wanting to kill this boy? There was no motivation. None at all. Except they were made to participate due to fear. No more, no less. And all those who witnessed this, these black men was laughing and whatever, what did they do? What did they do? Did they call the police? Did they approach the murderers and say, what did you do? What's going on? They kept their damn mouth shut. Just like those men was keeping their mouth shut because they didn't want to suffer the consequences, because they didn't want to be found floating down a river, just like the way they found that young boy. These men were never charged with a crime. They were never charged with a crime. They were never charged with accessory to a murder. In fact, they were held to the point where they were witnesses, asked to become witnesses to the event. They were not accessories to the crime. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the motivation behind them wanting to kill this boy? Oh, the young boy was arrogant. I don't care. He was a child. He was a baby. Just turned 15 years old or whatever. He's a child. Why would these so-called adult men, why would they be tripping off this boy? I don't care how he acted. That's children. You see children going up and down the street like that all the time. They don't know no better. You think children. These black men were never charged with a crime. In fact, the murderers confessed and admit it was all about them. They did not say, well, my black employees helped us and they did such and such. They never testified in that manner. It was me. And of course, as you know, they were acquitted. They never served no time for the murder of that boy. This is 1955 in the South. These blacks know that you could be lynched, you could be murdered, you could be killed, and there would be no justice. Fear. I'm laughing because I need to save my life. I'm laughing trying to cover for my employer who is a murderer. And if I don't play my cards right, this sucker turn around and next thing I know my house is on fire and I'm lynched in a tree myself. Here you are, a coward in 2016. And you act like you don't understand what was going on in 1955. You don't want to lose your job. You go to the military and fight for these devils. You filled with fear. But you don't understand the fear of what was going on with black folks in 1955. Get out of here. You should be ashamed of yourself and going to call this little boy a punk ass dude. You should be ashamed of yourself. But you know, they always trying to find a way to protect massa. You want to try to show that black folks is just as wicked and evil as their massa. Well, there are many examples of that. This one is not. There's a brother who decided and have been talking about me for years because I asked him to prove that these black men murdered Emmett Till. Show me the court records, the conviction, anything. And he till this day have not shown nothing at all, because it's a lie. These black men did not actually participate. They were present, but they did not participate in the murder of that child. They would have no reason. Why would they want to kill that boy? The only one who have proven himself, well, one of the ones who could really try to judge these men in 1955 would be somebody like Malcolm. But then Malcolm could not judge them because those who stand up against evil like that usually lose their lives, so they are not around to judge nobody. But the cowards who sit back, hide their face on social media or whatever, they can talk all day long. Here you are, you hide your face on social media, but you don't understand fear. You don't understand what you hiding your face behind an avatar on social media for? Because you are a damn coward. That's just you acting just like they did in 1955, because you know what would happen to you if your boss on the job or some of the people that's around you know exactly how you talk and how you think. Fear. It's all about fear. And you have the nerve to run around here and judge somebody. These men did what they did out of fear. No more, no less. Accept reality, my friend. It's much easier. You're going to find it out in the long run. This is of course, as you can tell, as you can see, this is a casual video. I just had something on my mind. I'm so tired. I'm out of it, but I just want to talk about this while I have a little time. Could you get on the train, purchase a ticket, and ride with me on this train? I just want to take a ride. You and I, we're friends, aren't we? We're not. Y'all, woo, man. I want to call this video Black Nation Building 101. The basics of nation building. It does not necessarily mean it has to be black. This is the basis for any people trying to build a nation, a state. Okay, you got it? Okay, here we go. First of all, the number one thing that you must do, nation building number one, is you must become a people. the so-called Negro, the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, we are called black people. We are called Black America. When the reality is, we are not a people. We are not Black America. We are somebody whose ancestors who suffered over 400 years of slavery, well, actually over 300 years of slavery. Or is it 400 years? Y'all can teach me on what it really is. But anyway, we know it's in the hundreds of years. They were released from physical bondage and just let go and enter society. They did not see themselves as a people. A slave was somebody's property. Just like when you have dogs. But you know something? This is the thing about a dog. You can throw all the dogs out of your house right now today, and these stray dogs will see the benefit in a partnership with another stray dog, and you will see them come together as a, what do you call dogs when, a pack. You will see them begin to form a pack. And actually, really that's what happened to the slaves. We were set free, our ancestors were set free, and we began to form our separate packs instead of seeing ourselves as a people who suffered the same victimization, who were in a similar situation. In fact, the very same situation. So today, you have the Black Muslim group, the Hebrew Israelite group, the Kemetic group, the homosexual group, the Black feminist group, the NAACP group, the Urban League group. Everybody is a part of their own group. I ain't no part of no group. And then, of course, you have those who are stragglers. I ain't no part of nothing. So, you don't have a people. If you look at America, you have many groups, but they are all under one nation. And they are loyal to one nation. When you attack the nation, you attack all these groups because they have united under one umbrella. So these groups that I just mentioned, if you want to build a nation, you must become a people under one umbrella. If you cannot accomplish the people, becoming a people, and you are under one umbrella, then you might as well sit down and shut up, because your idea about black nation building is nothing but pure speculation, is nothing but pure fantasy. And it makes you feel good to talk about, I'm building a nation. You ain't building nothing. Because a nation is only as strong as the people who are going to participate and live within that nation. Then physically, for the people, you must find land. How can you build a nation and you have no land? Are you going to get any from the United States government? Where is this land coming from that you want to build a nation? Black nation building 101. Two simple things. You got to have land and you have to have a people under one umbrella. How are you going to attempt such a thing? The only people we associate with and know are racists. You must develop friendships with other nations willing to help you accomplish what you want to accomplish. They could possibly give you the land that you seek. Now, going back to talking about the people under one umbrella, under one flag. You cannot build a nation because these Negroes, you can't tolerate the differences among your own people. I don't like the black Muslims. I don't like him because he's gay. I don't like him or her, they married to white people. You're already living in that type of situation. You're already living with rapists and drunks and thieves and liars and gays and fornicators and adulterers. You're already in that type of situation already. But you can't tolerate it. In building a nation, you must understand that you're building something or with people you don't necessarily have to like. You think that Patrick Henry loved George Washington and George Washington really loved Ben Franklin. It had nothing to do with I like you or love you. It's about what are we going to do? What do we aspire to? We are aspiring to become our own nation. And we are looking out for the benefit of our future generations that they may continue what we build. That's what it's about. It's not about you liking me or I'm liking you. It would be nice if you like me or love me, but it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to be in love with nobody. We just have to be in line with the common purpose and goal, the object of what we want to do. But you know something, it sounds good, but the reality is y'all really not interested in building a black nation. Because if you were really interested in building a black nation, we would see a different attitude coming from you. Many of you think like the oppressor. Many of you think like Caucasian people. Many of you, if you were allowed to rule over other so-called black people, you would probably be worse than any racist towards us. You would probably put us into slavery. That's for real. I'm not jiving. I'm telling you the truth. I would not go nowhere with these Negroes talking about building a nation with their mentality, because they would probably kill you quicker than any racist would. Look how they talk. They can't even talk to you nice. They can't even pretend to embrace you. That shows you how sick they are. And you want to go talk about somewhere alone with these people and being under their rule? Oh no, that would be a sad mistake. Anything they build would probably fall down within 2 weeks or 2 months. They have the wrong attitude. They don't know what they're doing. They're incompetent. Even if everybody thought like you, everybody is still different. When you go to the grocery store and you look at potato chips, there are many brands of potato chips. Everybody, do you know why? Because everybody does not like the same potato chip. We all like the potato chip. Well, some of us don't like potato chip, but many like the potato chips, but they still don't like the same thing. This is what you have to think about when building a nation. You're dealing with people with different ideas, different likes, and things of this nature, but you have to be able to compromise in order to get a specific job done. And if you do accomplish this, then perhaps you could have a better nation than the one that you're living in right now. How are you going to build a nation and you have no skills? You have all these degrees and business and stuff, all that's nice, and computer science, but when you're building a nation, that comes later. But when you're building a nation, you need architects. You need people who can work with their hands, carpenters and people, machinists and things of this nature. You need hands-on stuff. You need farmers, because you gotta eat. Who gonna grow the food? People who can understand infrastructure, building roads and things of this nature, building houses. Some of y'all you can't do nothing. You have no skill. You can't change a battery in a car. You can't do nothing with your hands. And you talking about nation building. And you're delusional about this nation building thing. because you want to continue to live the way that you live. You want the internet, Facebook and YouTube, and drive around in your pretty. That's not nation building. Starting from scratch, you start from nothing. Let's say if China gave you a block of land as large as Delaware or Rhode Island, but you have to go in and chop down all the trees, and you have to hunt your food just like they used to do back in the days of Davy Crockett, and like the Amish live right now. In fact, the Amish, really, you need to look at how they live, because the closest to nation building you're going to get is like the Amish. You're here in America, but the Amish have established their own society separated from the general masses. And you don't hardly hear too much about them. They just living their lives out there in the rural areas and doing their thing. That's the closest to a nation you're going to get. And you're not even going to get that far because you don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to give up nothing. You love your slave life. You love the internet. You love your job. You praise your degree. You love everything that you've accomplished here. Black nation building. It's a joke. It's a joke because you're not taking it serious. You're not serious about what you're talking about. That's all that it is nothing but talk. You know this and I know this. So you will stay away from me because you know that you are fake. So you want to go around other people who are liars and are hypocrite and fake just like yourself. Oh man, we need to unify. What are you doing to unify? You're not interested in unity. You're not really interested in nation building. You're not interested in none of that stuff. It all just sounds good. You're nothing but a slave. You was born a slave, gonna die a slave, always will be a slave. It's gonna take future generations, and they will probably be forced to do it. You're gonna have to be forced to really truly seek a nation of your own. Right now, you're comfortable on your slave job. You are comfortable just the way that you are. Because the way that y'all look at nation building is very delusional. It's not reality. You want to continue to live the way that you're living right now, and that's not thinking realistically. Period.